Hello and welcome to my Facebook Live class. My name is Kimberly and I'm a senior recreation therapist with the community older adult team. And today you'll be joining me for about a 50-60 minute forever motion class. So let's start by warming up here in this spot. So we'll start by marching out. Now remember, you always have options. You have the option to do the exercise seated in your chair here. You could be doing the exercise behind the chair with your fingertips on your chair, or you could be standing behind the chair or beside the chair so that you can see my feet here at this point. So let's start by marching out, standing nice and tall, thinking about really good posture here. So standing tall, almost like there's a string pulling you just a little tiny bit taller, and then march out. Good. Let's start with a tap to the side. So let's tap and tap, and the seated option looks exactly the same. You'll just take a little step to the side instead. Very nice. So here we are on October 4th. Some of you might be watching it today. Some of you might be watching it a little bit later. But I was hoping to be able to do this outside. We've had some nice fall days, but I'm getting hit with quite a storm right now. It's thundering and lightning and storming outside, so I'm hoping this doesn't disrupt my internet connection here. That's it, looking good. Standing tall, thinking about good posture, thinking about engaging your core at the same time as well. So your belly button is pulled into the spine, shoulders are back and down, and maybe even the chin is tucked just a little bit. Okay, last 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's march in the spot again. Good. Okay, let's do a mambo to the front. So actually, let's do it to the side this time. We've done it to the front before. Let's do a mambo to the side together, to the side together, side together, side together. Kind of like we're taking a little bit of step to the side. We change our mind and bring those legs back together again. Very nice. Good, keep going for me here. Good, and during our cardio section, we'll just take some nice, easy breaths. Don't have to really worry about breathing one way, one direction, one the other way, like we do in our strength training. Just breathe naturally here. Good, now, if you'd like just to add a little bit of hips to this, and again, you might not be able to do this seated though, but if you add a little bit of hips to that, if you'd like, that's it. Getting ready for any of you that are going down south for the winter here. Good. That's it, looking great. Okay, 4 more. 3, 2, and last one. March it out again here. March it out. Good. Okay, let's do, how about a V, actually let's do a step knee this time. So we'll do a step in front, knee, step, and tap back. Step front, knee, step, tap back. Step front, knee. Good. Great. In my original fitness days, we would call this a Charleston. We would do it a little bit faster, but step, knee, step, tap back. Step, knee, step, tap back. Good. And you can do a version of this still in seated position as well. It would just be a step, knee, step, tap underneath your chair. Step, knee, step, under your chair. Good. So you still get a version of this. If you're choosing to do it seated, just a reminder to sit on the front half of your chair at the same time. Okay, let's do 2 more on that side. 1 more. Okay, what we do on one side, we need to do on the other, so switch to the other side. Step, knee, step, tap back. Step, knee, step, tap back. Good. Now remember, I'm going kind of at a medium pace here, but no, you can always speed that up a little bit, or you can slow it down, just depending on how you're feeling today. You can make your movements bigger if you'd like. So a little bit higher knee for more intensity, or take it maybe just a tap in front for lower intensity. Good. I've been sitting at my computer for most of the day, so I'm going to make mine a little bit bigger here. That's it. Good. So I thought for today's class we would do an interval style training. I know I'm hearing feedback from some of you that you do have 50 to 60 minute classes. So need to kind of have some filler or some things to incorporate in your class. So what we'll do today is we will do an interval style where we'll do, say, a back exercise, a muscle strength exercise, one cardio move. We'll go back to that exact same muscle strength exercise, and then we'll do one more cardio. So we'll try for 2 sets of each exercise, as well as a cardio interval in between that as well. And 2 more, and last one, very nice. Okay, let's grab yourself a drink of water. Keep those feet moving there for a moment. Good. Okay, and march it out. Whew. Okay, let's do a hopscotch front. So we're going to do opposite arm to opposite heel in front. And once again, if this is just too big of a movement for you, you can always just take that to an opposite hand to opposite knee. You could do the same thing in seated. Or if you want to work on a little bit of hip mobility, reach down and aim for that foot. This is something that if you go to aqua size classes, you would have seen this in aqua size classes. We do opposite arm to opposite foot or hopscotch front in aqua size. That's it. Okay, a little bit more, get that body warmed up before we start our strength portion. Okay, let's try a hopscotch back here now. So opposite arm to opposite heel in back. I'm just going to move away from my chair just a bit. So opposite arm to opposite heel. And again, if this one's just a little bit harder for you, then feel free to slow it down just a little bit or speed it up. Good. Now again, this one's a little bit trickier in seated position. It'll just be like you're trying to kick underneath your chair. You might not be able to reach back if you have handles or armrests on your chair, but you get the same idea in seated or standing, or I could have my hands on my chair in front and just bring my heels to my bum. Okay, in 4, 3, 2, and 1, and march it out. Whew. Okay, so we should feel like we've got a little bit of a warm up here. Should feel like you got a little warm, maybe getting a little bit sweaty, had your heart rate or your breathing rate increase. Let's bring it back down to a little bit more of a regular pace. So just go into a little bit lower march here. Now let's take a couple nice deep breaths. Let's take a deep breath in, bring those shoulders up towards the ears, and exhale and drop those shoulders back and down. Again, nice deep breath in, bring those shoulders up towards the ears, and exhale, drop them back and down. And one more time, nice deep breath in. Very nice, good. Okay, if you still feel like your heart rate's a little high, I'd encourage you to keep this march for just a couple more seconds, couple more minutes. If you feel like your heart rate has come down a little bit, might still be warm for the next couple minutes, but if you feel like your heart rate's come down a bit, then we can move on to our strength training portion. Okay, one last drink. Let's take one more deep breath in, inhale all the way up, and exhale, arms to the side. Good. And one more time, inhale. Okay, how are we feeling? Listen to your body. If you're not quite ready to stop all together, please feel free to keep those feet moving. We will be doing short 30-second-ish intervals along the way. but our heart rates won't be getting too high during those short interval sessions. Okay, let's move on to some strength training. So let's start by grabbing onto our weights. We're going to take our weights and we're going to hinge forward at the hips. So let's roll the shoulders up, back, and down. Chest is lifted. We'll hinge forward at the hips, keeping that head and neck in line with our spine. So we shouldn't be looking up at the camera the whole time or at the phone. We should be looking down, bringing the hands to our hips, and slowly lowering those hands back down. Good. And if I am going to look across or up, I might choose to turn my head to the side instead, just easier on the neck than a great big hyperextension of the neck. So whether you're a participant or a leader watching this, always thinking about where we're looking and always trying as much as possible to keep that head and neck in line with the spine. So hands are coming to the hips and hands are coming back down to the knees. I'm breathing at the same time. I bring my hands to the hips. I'm exhaling as I lower my hands down. I'm inhaling. Good. A couple other things I like to mention is that our core should be engaged, our belly button pulled to spine, so that lower back is supported. Now I'm going to do one more. Know you can stop if you've had enough, and last time. Good. Okay, let's stand up, put the weights down. Feel free to give that just a little bit of shake through that lower back. Okay, let's do our cardio interval. So let's do a wide and narrow. So let's do wide, wide, narrow, narrow. Wide, wide, narrow, narrow. That's it again, standing nice and tall. Wide and narrow here. Now we can go as slow or as fast as we'd like. You can take this a little slower, or if you like, you can speed it up just a little bit. Okay, so what we do on one side, we should always do on the other side. This is my left leg leading. So I'm wide, wide, narrow, narrow, with my left leg always leading. So what I'd like you to do is pay attention to which leg is leading. Next time, I'd like you to do the other leg. Okay, let's see two more. And last one, great. Okay, let's release that. Let's grab onto the weights. Let's hinge forward at the hips, and we'll pull up and bring back down. Good job. So nice, slow, and controlled here at the same time. Pull that belly button into the spine. Standing nice and tall. Good. Head and neck in line with the spine. So I'm looking about 3 feet in front of me here right now. Now I'm going to do about 6 more. Know that if that's just a little bit too hard on your back, give that a little shake before you come back and do one more round. Okay, and 2 more. And last time. Good. Okay, let's release that, stand on up. Put the weights back down. Now remember I did my left leg last time. So switch to the other leg this time. Wide and narrow. Good. Great. That's it, very nice. Wide and narrow. Good. And again, breathing easy here. We can keep this with one foot on the ground at all times. We could start to pick it up a bit. Just make it a little bit faster if you like. Just a bit of impact. Or you can keep this a little bit slower. This class is up to you to work as easy or as hard as you like, but always listening to your body. So if you feel any discomfort, pain, lightheadedness, then maybe you're choosing to sit down in the chair and maybe just keep those feet moving nice and easy. Good. Okay, let's do 8 more seconds, but can we do it a little faster if you're able to? If you're not, that's okay. Okay, last 4, 3, 2, and last one. Oh, really good. Great job, everybody. Okay, let's grab ourselves a drink here again. Okay, this time we'll grab our band. Okay, so let's grab our band. Let's extend one hand out in front. So for this one here, I'm going to have my watch hand, which is my left hand, on the bottom. I'm going to have my right hand on top. Pay attention to, again, which hand is on top, because we're doing 2 sets of this exercise. So next time we're going to switch which hand is on top. So I'm going to be standing nice and tall, feet about hip width or shoulder width apart. I can choose to do this seated if I'd like, sitting on the front half of my chair. But I'd always encourage you, if you're able to stand up and do this exercise. We're aiming for somewhere between 12-ish number of reps. I rarely count though. Way more important is that we're going to muscle fatigue. And 2 more. And last one. Very nice, good job. Okay, shake that out. So remember, my watch hand was on the bottom, which was my left. So make sure you're paying attention. Let's do a heel dig here this time. So heels are coming in front, digging those heels in front, reaching forward with the arms. Seated will look exactly the same here. And I'm going to choose to have one hand come in front of the other, and I'm going to alternate which hand is in front, just to strain my brain just a little bit more. Good. Now again, you could keep one foot on the ground at all times. We could speed it up just a little bit with a little bit of a hop in between. So one foot just slightly coming up off the floor. Know a little bit of impact is good for our body, but always listening to our body at the same time. Okay, 4, 3, 2, 1, and march it out. Okay, let's grab that band again. Other hand will be under this time. So last time, my watch hand was on the bottom. This time, my other hand will be on the bottom, and my other hand will be on top. So once again, hands about chest height, and let's squeeze and release. Nice, slow, and controlled. And for this one here, we're exhaling as we're bringing those hands apart. Inhale as we release and bring those hands back together. And I'm encouraging you to switch hands in between, because I find my right hand is dominant, and if my right hand's on top, it tends to take over a bit. So I like to alternate which hand is on top, and then that way both sides are working equally. Good. And let's see, 2 more. And last time. Good. Okay, great job. Let's put those bands down here again. Let's do a cardio interval here. So we'll do that heel dig in front. And once again, I'm alternating which hand is in front. We might be tempted to always have one arm in front, but let's alternate. Feels good to strain the brain, doesn't it? And probably no one's watching right now, so if you're not alternating each time, then that's okay. Okay, last 8 seconds. I'm going to give you a chance, if you'd like, to pick it up, speed it up just a little bit. God, we're going to push ourselves just a little bit here today. And last 4, 3, 2, 1, and march it out. Fantastic. Good job. And that's okay if you didn't pick it up a little bit that time. Maybe next time you watch this video, you can just gradually increase the intensity. Let's grab our band again. So this time here, we're going to do a upper back exercise. So I'm going to take my band. I like taking from the side every once in a while, just so I'm not always using that center of my band, which will gradually, weaken that part of the band. So I'm going to bring my band in front from the side. I'm going to have my elbows about chest height. My shoulders are going to stay down though, not up around my ears. I'm going to squeeze the shoulder blades together in the back and then release. This is our back squeeze. So this is going to be working our upper back muscles. I like to call this our posture belt muscle group. And this entails or encompasses our posterior deltoids, our mid traps, as well as our rhomboids. So as we're doing that, I want you to really think about squeezing those shoulder blades together in the back and slowly releasing. Squeeze those shoulder blades together in the back and release. Exhaling as we bring those elbows back. Inhale as we release. Good. I'm starting to feel those shoulders fatigue just a little bit. Although this is an upper back exercise, those shoulders are working to keep those arms up. So I'm just going to do 2 more. And last time. No, you can always stop sooner if you'd like to, or you could do a couple extra if you prefer. Okay, let's do a tap back this time. So tap back together, tap back together. So once again, I could keep this low impact, 1 foot on the ground at all times. I can go at whatever speed I'd like, aiming for about 30-second intervals. Good. And I'm just lean forward, just slightly forward. That's it. As I take that step back, leaning forward a bit. Good. Okay, we're getting close to that last 8 seconds here, ready to make it just a little faster, a little bit more impact. So if you like, speed that up for the last 8 seconds, or just a little bit of a hop, little teeny bit of impact at the same time. Oh, I got a squeaky floor right where I'm at. 4, 3, 2, 1, and march it out. Okay, nice work. Grab onto your band again, and let's do that back squeeze. So band is about chest height, elbows are up. We're gonna squeeze those shoulder blades together in the back and release. I've got some really fun groups and some groups that like to give me a hard time. So sometimes when I say, okay, let's go chest height, I get the comments, chest height when we're 20 or chest height now. So if that is a different height when you're 20 than it is now, then go with armpit height. I don't believe your armpit height changes as we age. So let's go with armpit height then. Squeeze those shoulder blades together in the back. And this helps us to stand up tall, have better posture, and prevent some of that kyphosis or rounding of the spine that we might get as we age. And we're still standing nice and tall, always thinking about those ABCs of posture. And 2 more. And last time. Very nice. Okay, give that a shake. Okay, let's go back to that tap back. Tap back together. Good. I did show this one seated. I guess I haven't been showing all of them seated, but the seated version would be exactly the same. I'm just tapping underneath my chair at the same time instead of tapping back. Virtually all of these can be done seated at the same time. So no, if you ever want to, you can do them seated. I would just strongly encourage you to try them standing if you don't have an issue with your balance. Okay, we've got 8 seconds left, my friends. Can we speed this up just a little bit? A little faster, or with a little hop in between to switch legs. I'm going to move off that squeaky spot. 4, 3, 2, and 1, and march it out. Very nice. Okay, grab a drink of water. Let's move into a little bit of leg strengthening. Okay, So a little bit of leg strengthening here. So let's work on what I would say are glutes and hamstrings with a little bit of lower back thrown into it as well. So let's grab onto our weights. This is called a dead lift. So our feet are about hip width or shoulder width apart. We're gonna roll the shoulders back and down. With our weights in front of us, we're gonna slowly lean forward. You're gonna see my knees soften a little bit, but it's not a big bend. I'm gonna bring my hands to about knee height, and then I'm gonna squeeze with my glutes and my hamstrings, squeeze my bum at the top, and then I'm gonna come all the way back down. Come down nice and slow, and bring up nice and slow. Squeeze the bum, squeeze the hamstrings, come down and back up. Good. I'll do this a little bit from the side, and squeeze up. Now this one might be a little bit tougher to do seated. So if you're able to come up and do this standing, I'd encourage you to do this standing. If you're not able to do this standing, I would like you to keep going with this. But if you're not able to do it in standing, instead if you're doing this seated, then I would just do a hamstring curl. So heel underneath the bum. That would be working the hamstrings and the glute muscles as well. Okay, a few more here. Come down and squeeze all the way up to the top. Come down and squeeze all the way to the top. Now this one, if you don't have heavy enough weights, you might not feel this one very much. I have 8-pound weights, and this is what I would consider fairly light here. So you might have to grab a little bit heavier weights or double up on some of the weights that you have at home. You could also do this with tubing. So you could put your tubing or band underneath your feet so that as you come up, you're pulling against that, resisting against the tension of the tubing or band, and then slowly come back down. Nice. Okay, let's see 2 more. Really think about squeezing the bum at the top. And last time. Good. Okay, let's put those weights down. Let's move into another exercise. Let's do a tap to the side this time. So that dead lift is not in our training manual. So if you're a leader, you might not have seen that one a lot. I'll sometimes show that one as an alternative in training. It works your, like I said, hamstrings and glute muscles. So if you're looking for some new exercises, leaders, that would be one you can do in training or in class. Just a reminder, really important, we're telling people where to look and keeping that back nice and neutral as we're doing that one. Okay, a few more. Tap to the side, reach the arm up. We're into our last 8. Can I encourage you to go a little bit harder here? Maybe adding a little bit of a hop in between to switch sides. Maybe going a little faster. Last 4, 3, 2, 1, and done. Whew. Okay, doing our deadlift one more time. So standing tall, making sure we have neutral spine, thinking about those ABCs of posture, abdominals in, bum tucked, chest lifted and shin tucked. We're going to slowly hinge at the hips and then slowly pull up, squeezing the glutes and the hamstrings or squeezing the bum. This is a good time to kind of think about how you're feeling. We sometimes use what's called the RPE scale, or rate of perceived exertion. And oftentimes that's when we're doing a lot of cardiovascular. But this one here being an interval, you might find you're warm, you might find your breathing maybe a little heavier than what you normally would if you're just doing a strength training class. So this would be a good time for you just to gauge how you're feeling. I feel warm. I haven't really cooled down much from our warm-up. I'm breathing still a little bit heavier than what I might do in just a strength training class. And that's okay, that's probably normal for an interval style. Okay, let's do one more here, that's probably 12, and last time. Whew. Okay, so maybe by that last 1 or 2, you were starting to feel that in the back side of your body. Let's do a tap to the side. That's it. Reaching the arm up, tapping the leg to the side, and seated, it'll look exactly the same. Okay, last 8 seconds. Know that you can always stay where you're at, or if you'd like, a little bit of a hop with that, or a little faster, or both. And 4, 3, 2, 1, and march it out. Whew. Okay, we're doing great so far. Half an hour of exercise so far. We've got a few more to go. Okay, let's go back to our upper body. So let's grab our weights for an upright row. And I like reviewing this one here just because it is one that we sometimes don't get right. It does take a little bit of body awareness. So we're gonna roll those shoulders up, back, and down. Chest is lifted. ABCs of posture. I could be holding my weights, or I could have my tubing under my feet as well. You have options there. I'm gonna bring my hands again just to the base of my chest. Elbows about shoulder height, and then slowly lower back down. Again, exhale as I bring my hands up. Inhale as I bring it back down. And again, if your chest isn't a good gauge, then aim for elbows parallel to your shoulders. Good. Good. So a couple things sometimes I'll see when I show this one in class. One would be I sometimes see those shoulders coming up towards the ears. We don't want that. So try to keep those shoulders down, not coming up towards the ears. Just your elbows coming to the side, wrists always staying lower than your elbows, and keeping my wrists straight. So just watch to make sure that you're not actually doing a doggy paw. See this? I'm kind of bringing my hands up and my wrists are bending. We don't want that either. That can be hard on the wrists. So bring it up and then slowly back down. I see some more people logging in and coming on. Welcome. So nice of you to join me in person here or live. And 2 more. And last time. So once again, know that you can do the same amount of reps as me. You can do a little less. You can do a little bit more. Good. Okay, let's do a V-step. I'm going to do it starting with my left foot. So go wide, wide, narrow, narrow. Wide, wide, narrow, narrow. So like I'm making a V in front of me. Let's get those arms going. If you'd like, you can speed that up just a little bit. Your seated option will look exactly the same. You'll be just stepping forward and stepping back. And again, push yourself to however you feel like you can comfortably push yourself. If you can speed that up a little bit, feel free to speed it up. If you need to slow it down a little bit, feel free to slow it down. We're getting into the last 8 to 10 seconds. Are you ready just to work a little bit harder? Again, completely up to you, but I would encourage you just to push yourself a little bit harder for the last 8 seconds. You ready? Okay, so we can either do this a little faster, or I could almost like I'm going into a little bit of a run with it. That's it. So again, speed or impact or a little bit of both. 4, 3, 2, 1, and march. Okay, so remember which leg you did. I started on my left. So remember next time we gotta switch which side we're gonna start on again. Okay, so again, let's grab either our weights or our band. Roll those shoulders up, back, and down. Good set position or starting position. Let's bring our hands to the base of the chest and slowly lower back down. And generally speaking, I'm going to be standing with my feet about hip width or shoulder width apart. If you ever did want just a little bit more of a challenge, I feel like I'm challenging you lots here today, you could bring those feet together. What that does is narrows our base. It makes my core have to turn on a little bit more to stabilize because I don't have that wide base holding me still. So my core has to turn on just a little bit to stabilize. So that's always an option if you'd like. Let's see, 2 more. And last one. Okay, you can put those weights down. I'm gonna grab a quick drink before we keep going. Good. Okay, let's do that V step. Remember which leg you did last time, so do the other one. I'm gonna do my right leg this time, wide and narrow. Oh, I'm in that squeaky spot again there. There we go. Wide, wide, narrow, narrow. That's it. Go as fast or slow as you'd like. We're nearing that last 10 seconds. Are you able to just work a little bit harder with me? Again, completely optional. Ready? Last 8 seconds. A little faster or a little bit of impact. Good. 4, 3, 2, 1, and march it out. Okay. Whew, great job. So that was our shoulders, again a little bit more interval. Let's move on to our biceps and our triceps. So let's grasp onto our weights here now. But again, as always, you have an option between your weights or tubing. You could choose either one. I'm going to stand with my feet about hip width apart to start with. Roll those shoulders up, back, and down. Chest is lifted, chin is tapped. And then I'm going to slowly bring my hands up. I'm going to do that hammer curl today. Good, and slowly release back down. We're going to breathe at the same time. Exhale as you're bringing your hands up. Inhale as you bring those hands down. Now we just talked about bringing those feet together just for a little bit more of a challenge on our core strength. Good, and I feel like this is one you might be able to even challenge yourself a little bit more. You could stand on one foot. Maybe I just have the toe down of that other foot. Great. And if you're still thinking, you're not feeling like you're being challenged enough, oh, I can see and feel my supporting leg, just having to balance a little bit more here with that. But if you wanted a little bit more of a challenge, if you feel like your balance is good, you could do reciprocal with that. So this will be the last 8 seconds. Get a little bit harder again. 4, 3, 2, and last one. Good. Okay, put that down. Okay, our next one, let's do a jumping jack for our cardio interval. So our leg is going to go out to the side. Arms are going to go out to the side. And this is our low impact jumping jack. Good. And know at any time, if you feel like you're ready to do a full jack, you can do that at any time. If you feel you want a bit of a challenge. We're getting close to our last 10 seconds. If you'd like, you could add a little bit of a hop in between. That would kind of be a level 2 option or a little mini impact. Or last 4 seconds if you'd like, a full jack. 3, 2, 1, and march it out. Woo. Okay, good job. Way to challenge yourself. I'm sure at home you're working to the highest level you're able to, getting just a little bit of a challenge today. Let's grab those weights again. Starting with those feet about hip width or shoulder width apart. Shoulders back and down, chest is lifted. Hands to the shoulders and hands all the way back down to the side. I'm going to challenge my balance a bit. I'm going to bring those feet together. And then if you'd like a little bit more of a challenge, last time I stood with my left foot up. This time I'll stand with my right foot up. And then for our last few seconds, if you'd like, reciprocal. That'll be the biggest challenge on my core strength and my poor left leg having to stabilize or balance, stepping down anytime I need to. Last 2 and last 1. Okay, and back to that jumping jack. Whew. You might have heard instructors before do that little whew, helps to clear your air passage, and it actually makes it easier for you to breathe. So it's actually good for us to do that little whew every once in a while. In my classes, usually what I teach people why we do it, and then I'll ask them, at the very least, when I ask you how you're doing, what are you gonna say? And I get them to go, whoo! So, and everybody always loves doing that, gets everybody fired up and excited just a little bit. But knowing even when you're exercising at home here, good for you to do that little whoo, to clear that air passage. Makes it easier to breathe, and then you can work just a bit harder. Are you ready? Okay, let's work just a little bit harder for the last 8 seconds. A little bit of hop there, or if you are ready to do a full jack, feel free to do a full jack in 4, 3, 2, 1. Great job. March it out. Okay, way to go, everybody. Grab yourself a drink. Just keep those feet moving just a little bit. Oh, I've gone through almost my whole water bottle here. I guess I need 2 water bottles when I do a 60-minute class. Okay, so that was our biceps. Let's talk about triceps here. Now this might be a little bit heavy of weights for me for triceps. I probably should have brought up my 5-pound weights too. I'll do a few reps with this one, and then I might have to stop. So I might not do as many as I would encourage you to do, but listen to your body, as I always say, depending on the weight or resistance you have. So I'm gonna have 1 foot forward, 1 back. I could be doing this in my chair as well. I would just probably have my elbow on my thigh if I was gonna do it in my chair. I'm gonna stand tall, shoulders back and down, chest lifted. I'm gonna bring my hand to my hip. My elbow is gonna be up a little higher, aiming to almost be parallel with that hand or arm. And then I'm gonna straighten the arm and bend, and straighten and bend. So you'll notice I'm going to stop at my hip. I'm not going to swing forward or through, so we don't want to swing through. We're getting too much of a break when we do that. That's actually way easier when we do that versus when we stop at the hip and then straight back. Okay, I think I've got only 3 more left in me here. This is a heavy weight for me. No, you can always do a little bit heavier, few repetitions if you'd like. And last one, I'm going to stop there. Feel free to do a couple more on the other side if you'd like. I'm going to give that a little bit of a roll. Great. Good. Okay, if you're ready, let's do the other side. Okay, I'm going to stand other leg front, my hand on that supporting leg. Hand comes to the hip, elbow is going to stay up, and that hand will come straight back. And my palm is going to stay facing in the whole time. I sometimes see people swing their hand up and back with that. I would say that just looks a little uncomfortable, hard on the shoulder. Keep that palm of the hand facing in the whole time. So my weight shouldn't rotate or switch positions. I'm just going to straighten my arm and bend, and straighten and bend. Can you see me sweat? That's what I'm working hard for. And 2 more. No, you can do more if you'd like. Oh, 1 more. I can tell I'm getting to fatigue because I can tell my shoulder wants to lift up at the same time to help. So that means I've gone to the point of fatigue, or the point where if I do many more, I'm going to lose that good form. Okay, let's do a step touch. So step together, step together. Okay, getting a little bit of movement side to side here. Good. So again, we always have options to make this a little easier, a little harder. We could slow it down to make it a little bit easier. We could speed it up to make it a little bit harder. And almost in that last 10 seconds where we're going to work it just a little bit harder if you'd like. Okay, if you'd like, last 8 seconds, you could speed it up, or you could add a little bit of a hop to that. The squeaky spot must be right between my feet here. Because I don't think I'm touching it right now. Must be right in between. 4, 3, 2, 1, and march. Nice work. Okay, let's grab those weights again. Tricep kickback. And maybe I'll show you in seated here this time, just so you can see what it looks like. I'm gonna rest my arms either on both thighs or just one. And my arm's gonna come straight out to the side and back down, stopping at the hips. Okay, keep going here. Make sure that palm is facing in the whole time, so we're not rotating back with the hand or arm. That palm is facing in the whole entire time. Oh, I think I'm also hot because looks like the storm has passed and the sun is now beating in my south-facing window. So it's warming up pretty good in this room. And 2 more. Woo! And last one. Oh, I can start to feel that shoulder there. Give that a shake and switch sides. So as I'm describing and I'm showing, if you have just a little bit too heavy a weight, you can always do fewer repetitions, right? Hand is up, but always making sure that we're stopping when we reach that point of fatigue or we're starting to feel our form is going, because we don't want to injure ourselves by doing something that is making other parts of our body compensate. Okay, 2 more. Ooh, and 1 more. Good, and release that, drop that down. Good, okay, release that, give that a shake. Okay, and I forgot what we were just doing. What was our cardio move here? Oh, step touch. I wanted to go back to the jumping jack there. So we already did 2 sets of jumping jack, didn't we? Okay, step touch here, side to side. Good. Okay, so Ken, you can slow it down there a bit, or you can speed it up. Almost done the majority of the hard part of the class here. This will be our last interval. Okay, last 8 seconds. Can we speed it up just a little bit? Okay, a little faster. Little bit of a hop in between there if you'd like. 4, 3, 2, 1, and march it out. Whew. Oh, great job today. If you pushed yourself a little bit with some of those intervals, then good for you. If you didn't today, that's okay. Then maybe next time we could try some of those. Okay, let's move into some core training. So before we come all the way down to our seated, let's just take a couple nice deep breaths. Good, and 1 more. And big shoulder roll up, back and down, release. Any last little bit of tension in those shoulders. Good. Okay, let's come down to our chair for some core exercises. So I might try turning my chair just a little bit so you might have a little bit better view of the exercises from seated. And I'm going to take off my weights off the back of the chair. I'm going to put them on my ledge here. Okay, so I'm going to sit up nice and tall. I'm going to sit on the front half of my chair. I can either have my hands resting on my thighs or crossed in front or behind my head. And I'm going to slowly lean back and I'm going to slowly come all the way back up. I'm going to think about sitting nice and tall, maintaining those ABCs of posture. And as I mentioned, I oftentimes will tell you where to look. My chin just should stay on the horizon. I should maintain looking straight out in front of me. So what we want to avoid is that looking up. That would be really hard on the head and neck. Sorry, the neck really doesn't hurt your head, but it'd be hard on that neck. So don't do that. That hurts the neck. Good. Now remember, you can cross those arms across the chest for just a little bit more of a challenge, or fingertips behind the head or behind the ears, but never pulling on that head and neck. And we should be breathing here at the same time. So I'm going to exhale as I come up, as I resist against gravity. Inhale as I come back down. And I'm just going to the point where I feel like my feet are just about to come off the floor, and then I come all the way back up. Okay, let's do 2 more. And last one. Good. Okay, and release that. Give that a little shake there. Stretch out a bit if you'd like. Okay, let's do a little bit for obliques this time. So we're going to work our obliques, which is along my side here. I'm going to bring one arm up, and I'm going to bring my armpit or my elbow to my hip. My knee is going to lift us slightly, but really that is not the main part of this. Really, the main part is hip or armpit and elbow towards that hip. Bring it up, squeeze and release, and squeeze and release. So sometimes in class I'll see people do elbow to knee, and really that's not what we're going for. That elbow to knee really is working those hip flexors and not those obliques. So really thinking about armpit and hip together, and release. And 2 more. And last time. Okay, let's switch to the other side here now. I'll turn just to face you a little bit more. Armpit and hip, and release. So you can probably hear I'm breathing a little bit with that at the same time. Really trying to squeeze hip and armpit together, contracting those obliques. And 2 more. And last time. Good. Whew. Okay, so we did a little bit of front abs, we did a little bit of side abs. Our lower back abs, or lower back core, I should say, will be working that whole entire time to stabilize and balance as we're doing those exercises. Okay, so let's get into our flexibility here. Boy, we're almost going to be over an hour here if I don't wrap it up. Let's extend one leg out in front, stick that heel out, and push that heel just a little further. Let's bring that toe towards the shin, soften the knee just slightly. We never want to lock our joints. I'm going to think about rolling the shoulders up, back, and down, and I'm going to hinge at the hips, not the spine. So where all my back goes, my head and neck goes as well. And I'm going to lean forward, getting just a really nice stretch through the hamstring muscles or the back of the thigh, and our gastrocnemius or calf muscles along the lower leg. And the more I bring that toe towards the shin, the more I'm going to feel that in the back of the calf muscle. I'm sure lots of you have heard me say this before, but I'm also a yoga instructor, and I have heard people say the difference between yoga and, these stretches is that you breathe in yoga. And I hate when I hear people say that, because when we're doing our stretches here, we should be breathing too. So it's not that we just breathe in yoga. We should breathe in our stretches in our fitness classes as well. And I know you know that. Okay, let's switch sides here. Let's switch So other leg forward, push that heel out just a little further. Bring that toe towards the shin just a little bit closer and hinge forward, get a really nice stretch all through the back of the leg. I'm gonna even try to push that heel a little further out, making sure that knee is soft. And taking about 3 to 5 breaths as we're holding our stretches. And release that. Okay, let's stretch out our hip flexors and our quadriceps. So we're going to swivel one way, we're going to take one leg back. Now you can always do this in a standing position. I like it way better in seated. Everything else can relax rather than us having to hold up our body. So take one leg back. I'm going to hold on to either the armrest in front of me or the back of the chair. I'm going to drop my knee, tuck my tailbone, a little bit of a pelvic tilt, getting a nice stretch through the front of the hip and down through into the quadricep. And once I feel like I've got a really good handle on that stretch, I feel that stretch, I could take a nice deep breath in, bring that arm up and reach that arm up as well. Getting a little bit of a stretch through the shoulder, through the front of the body here, as well as that hip flexor quad stretch. And release that. Let's switch sides. Other way. Take that leg back. Sitting up nice and tall. Again, I want to make sure I get this handle on the stretch first. So I'm going to do a little bit of a pelvic tilt. Drop my knee. You can always have your legs straight if you'd like. Sitting up tall. Almost imagining I'm pulling forward through that front hip. Getting a nice stretch through the front of the thigh. And then once you've got that, take a nice deep breath in, bring that arm up, reach that arm up, maybe just slightly back. Good, and release that. Okay, let's bring ourselves back in. I have a call from the United Kingdom coming in. I'm sure that's not a crank call. I'm sure it's one of my relatives from the United Kingdom. I'm being sarcastic. Let's bring one arm across the front here, stretch out through the shoulder. We're going to give that a gentle pull across the front, keeping that shoulder down. So we're not putting any extra pressure on that shoulder. Now we can be doing this seated or we can do standing. I know I'm going to be back sitting at my computer for the rest of the afternoon, so I'm going to stand up here. Nice stretch through the back of the shoulder. Take that arm up and back for a bit of a tricep stretch. And this is a nice way of doing it so that you don't pull on your head and neck, but if you do need a little bit deeper, you can bring the arm up and over. Just don't make sure that you're not kinking your neck as you're doing it. This is a great option. Or if you don't even have the range of motion in your shoulder there, you could always do it this way instead if that works better for you. Let's bring the other arm across the front. Hanging on, it doesn't matter, above the elbow, on the elbow, below the elbow. We're not locking the joint here, so if I did have my hand on my elbow, that would not be a big deal at all. Good. Let's take that same arm up and back into a tricep stretch. Know you have some options there. Boy, that was a full 1 hour class, 60 minutes. Good for you to stick around for the whole thing. Good, and release that. And now open up through the chest, stretch out through the front. This is one of the tightest muscles in our body is our chest muscles in addition to those hip flexors and quadriceps. So really important, we're always stretching out our chest. At the very least during our exercise, but maybe a couple times throughout our day, bring those hands back behind the back, lift the chin. Now let's take a few more nice deep breaths. One more time. Well, great job, everybody. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you enjoyed the class. And I always love to see comments, anything that you liked or didn't like, that worked well, didn't work well. Let me know how you like that tricep one. That's just, it's a tough one to do, but a really effective one. Okay, thanks everybody. Hope you have a fantastic rest of the day and look forward to seeing you again next time. Bye for now.